Happy Friday, and welcome to a Trinity Family 5-Minute Fridays. I'm Andrew. This is Bree Weens, and we are a Trinity family.
We're in our new series of meal times, which is something we have enjoyed and loved so much. There are so many obstacles to meal times. It could be busyness, it could be young kids, picky eating, it could be older kids and their busy schedules and not wanting to communicate. Lots of obstacles, but we need to fight for these meal times because they are so important for our family, mainly for our unity and connection with each other.
Yeah. She has a wonderful story that I'm going to invite her to tell, but that she experienced when she was a teenager. So this place where you're supposed to be in rebellion or whatever, but in her own heart, in her experience, she comes to this place, and I'll let her tell the story, but of recognizing how much she longs for the consistency of mealtime.
Every time I was over at one of my friends' house, at the same time, we would get called from whatever we were doing, and we were called to the table, and everyone came together to eat at the table. And when I was there, I was a part of the family, so I was there, and I loved it. And it wasn't the best conversation ever, but even just coming to the table together, there was something in me that it was like, oh, this is so beautiful.
Yeah, and in that, I think we see this human longing for three things. Connection, call it the 3 C's. Connection, community, and consistency. And if we look at the history of the world, the dining room table, the meal, has been the place that those things have happened for humans.
You know, a lot of the time, that family table has actually been the altar.
Yeah.
I've studied in several religions, several cultures, and that is where you would connect. Like, they believed physically connecting with the God and with each other. It was a union of sorts.
Yeah, and that kind of a meal in our American culture, we've really relegated it to holidays. It's this place where we occasionally throughout the year come together and have this really festive time. And we really believe it's got to happen for our families on a daily basis. And so that's our first, we got 2 challenges for you today, but the first one is to make the plan for how you're going to have a daily meal time with your family.
It could be breakfast, it could be lunch, it could be dinner, it could be multiple, but at least one should be time to come together and communicate. Because what can it communicate?
Yeah. When we come together, we get the opportunity to really display what does it mean. There's 2 questions that I think human beings come hardwired to answer. It's who am I and who are we? And this place of connection, community, and consistency becomes a place where we answer those questions for our kids and for ourselves. And we do it through story. We do it through displaying, this is what I went through today. The good, the bad, this is how I dealt with it. And this is how we want to deal with those things, the good and the bad. And that needs a plan. She talks about this family that had a great plan for coming together, but not such a great plan for how to connect and actually how to communicate over that. And so it's important that we have that kind of framework, not to make it like a business meeting where, okay, Johnny, it's your turn, you've got 30 seconds to share, tell us about your report. No, but to create this place where story can happen, where everyone brings a voice, where we get to notice everyone, no one gets left out. We're monitoring, where are people? Nobody can just drift away from the family or get isolated anyway because we have these daily check-ins. And
it can take practice.
Yeah,
and so that's why we use 3 questions at our meal times. How did you grow up? How did you contribute? How did you risk? So that they know that these things are important to us, and we're going to show you how we did that today, and we want to know how you did that today. And so that's not maybe the only things we share, but those are the things that we consistently share with each other so that we can know what's going on and have a plan.
Yeah, so challenge to you. Why don't you pick 3 questions? 3 questions that are important to you. Again, ours are, how did you grow? How did you contribute? And how did you risk? You could use the same ones. You could pick your own. But having those 3 questions that just consistently, again, that word consistency, consistently start our meals. Start our conversation. It's a place where it builds from. We enter into stories and now we're laughing. And we're sharing, oh, I remember when, we haven't told you this story, but 10 years ago, before you were born, this thing happened. It reminded me of when you shared that. And it opens the gateway to those places of connection.
The gateway to questions as well, to dig deeper and to, what does that mean? Or how did you do that? There's just lots of opportunity that can spring through a few planned
Yeah.
questions.
So 3 questions that you always ask. Your kids are going to know them. You're going to know them. And it's going to open up the floodgates for great meal times for you. So
And
happy Friday.
great unity.
Happy connecting.
Bye.
Bye.